Today, my topic is talk about commercialization and industrialization of nanotechnology in Indonesia, case study of nano team in LIPI, from lab to the industry. I was between two richest millennial in Indonesia. Here is Zaki, CEO of Bukalapak, I think from ITB also, $6 billion man. And here is Dimas, CEO of Gojek. Before, I think now it's already moved to another job. A $10 billion man, both are unicorn in Southeast Asia. It seems that I smell like a $1 billion man. Okay, my talk today is about, I will divide to 4 sections. First is about innovation and technology transfer, challenge in Indonesia, technology transfer strategy in LIPI, startup incubation program in LIPI, and nano center success story. Maybe talk about my team. Jokowi now questioning the existence of scientists in Indonesia. If you are a scientist in Indonesia, you are also questioned. Where are the research output from scientists and university? This is what they are claim in the media, 2.4 billion of budget. Where is the result? If you are an Indonesian scientist, you are questioned. So take care. Don't you dare to be calm. We are now trapped in this comfort zone. Research results are only going to the library. Now our president and all stakeholders in Indonesia are now questioning where our research output are going to. We are trapped again in this myth because LIPI Sciences only focus on the basic research. Don't ask them about the commercialization. They only spend their fund just to do the research. There should be another institution or agency that handles, applies research, development, and commercialization. In reality, innovation is very complex, not like this myth. Maybe all of you know that nanotechnology is basic research. However, right now, we have more than 50 products using nanoparticles from our invention already in the market. By nanotechnology, we can directly transform lab scale products to be commercialized product. For example, I can produce 1 kilogram rice nanoparticle per day on my lab for cosmetic application. Since rice nanoparticles only account for 1% of finished product, then we can produce 100 kilogram of cosmetic product, which means that we can directly jump from basic research to commercialization phase without going through applied research and development phase. In conclusion, innovation is everything that can be commercialized and useful for the society. Therefore, innovation is invention times commercialization. If no commercialization, it is just a mere invention, not an innovation. However, I think bringing research result to the society and industry is not easy. There is a long winding road to the commercialization. Bringing research output to the society and industry will face so many setbacks in the process of technology transfer, because technology transfer process is complex. Majority of scientists lack entrepreneurial spirit, no reliable mentors, government regulation haven't fully supported. And all of us know this feeling of death of innovation. Later, I will explain our experience in detail on solving this problem. This visual shows the presentation of my colleague, Tim Capstal from Business School of UQ. He said that the success rate of patent is only 2%, but it increased to 9% when we make startup, and it increased to 18% when we make new product from it. Therefore, in LIPI, Indonesia Institute of Sciences, we make two pillar for increasing the amount of startup and new product numbers. Here is IP management system in LIPI. Start with IP identification, IP information searching, analyzing, IP document drafting, and registration, and then we make some program, workshop, in-house training, patent mentoring, and so on. And also we also have technology transfer program in LIPI like this, technology transfer, I think just you can see. Then next, to make sure how ready a technology is to be implemented, we use technology technology ready level. I think all of you already know about it. And also in LIPI, we develop in LIPI, we developed this commercialization readiness level, which is the method to validate prototype of research. If it's just an idea, it will have a level 1 CRL and so on until level 10, where the product has a license. By using these tools for promote prototype evaluation, we can increase the commercialization level of our research output in LIPI. So next, I will join to talk about the technology transfer models in LIPI from lab to the industry. This the model 1, technology transfer model 1. Research center in LIPI giving license directly to the user industry. Inventor did not get the sufficient right to the financial regulation in Indonesia. This I think not suitable, not going well, I think. And technology transfer model 2. In the second model, inventor will try to find an investor that will together create an industry. This is a good but bad model, I think, and bad but good model. Because after 4 years, the researcher resigned from the LIPI's position as a researcher and become an entrepreneur. Okay, good but bad, or bad but good. This PT Aneka Farmasi Indonesia, the biggest tempe yeast in the world, productivity 1,000 ton per year, supply 60% of tempe yeast in ASEAN. And model, Center for Innovation or incubator give grant for product development. They help to find industry user and give license to industry. Incubator have their sufficient in ownership, I think, with sustainability. I think this kind of example, composite fertilizer LIPI listen to PT Anugraha Mustika Ustindo. Fourth, I mean the transfer model 4, inventor and technology. This is my, I think, my preferred and the best model for public institution research like us. I think inventor and technology technopreneurs build startup in the incubator center. Incubation center giving grant for product development. Tenant together with the investor are developing the manufacturing industry. Incubation center giving license to the manufacturing industry, which is sold to the user. Inventor have their own ownership. This some example. Rice nanoparticle is by PT Gizi, and also nanobubble machine licensed by PT Nanobubble Karya Indonesia. We already licensed. It's my product. So this, I think, model is the most suitable for technology transfer from lab to industry. Next, I will try to talk about how the role of startup incubation program will help us in the value of depth of innovation. This is the first stage in the incubation program, about 1 to 2 years. The inventor have the technology. If the product have market potential, innovation center will give first seed money for developing the product sample. Then there must also be a strategic partner. I don't recommend that inventor enter this field. It can be anyone who have entrepreneurial passion that will run the business process. It must also be a second seed money for selling the product and operating the business. The output of this stage is minimum of available product, captive market, business plan, and products early adopter. So this stage will help the technology transfer from this point to this point. This 1 or 2 years. Then next, stage 2. In the second stage, at the 3rd years and beyond, the tenant startup along with inventor and so on here will be trying to find angel investor to make further step. Like in my case, the angel investor will help us about 500,000 US or $1 million US. So output of this second stage is production plan is established, business traction is growing, captive market 10% from the market incorporated. So this this stage will have the technology transfer from this point to this point. Then the third, the last stage, the startup will meet the venture capital to further expand their business. I think here, and it's like this from here to growth, and the output is IPO, I think. Last but not least, finally, I will talk about Nano Center in Indonesian activity in applying the fourth model. Okay, there is my young entrepreneurs. We have 150% now, from 20 to 30 young people in Nano Center. And this is our team achievement. We now have already 32 patent and copyright. We have more than 300 publication, award, and many things. So we want to bring this to the marketplace. This is some of my patents, our patents, and maybe there are in many medias, top 10 national inventor by Tempo Magazine and others that we get from Habibie Award also. And we get 2 times for Habibie Award and WIPO Inventor. Now we built the holding quarter in Puspitek. And here is the founder team, Dr. Ikono, Arif, Surya, and Dr. Alfian. Just co-founding partner scientists, Professor Nasihin, and many others. And so this Nano Ventures, we give operation capital, co-working space, business coaching, and we're trying to find investor and network. We meet entrepreneur and scientists join together. Last year, we have 10 startup, 2.5 million US of the cumulative revenue, and we also already create more than 100 jobs. Yes, some our startup. You can just see revenue in last year. We also have this one, and this I will start the video.
Nanotech Herbal Indonesia merupakan perusahaan pemula atau startup company dalam bidang manufaktur yang berdiri pada bulan September 2013. Pada tahun 2014, PT Nanotech Herbal Indonesia mengikuti seleksi inkubasi teknologi di lembaga inkubator BPPT. Nanon diprediksi akan jauh lebih hebat dari pendahulu. Kitosan nano dalam mengobati luka basah penderita diabetes juga menjadi hal menarik lainnya. Unit kedua adalah jasa karakterisasi bahan. Unit ini merupakan bagian dari R&D yang membantu pihak luar perusahaan untuk melakukan uji karakterisasi bahan di NHI menggunakan mesin dan alat yang dimiliki. Unit ketiga adalah jasa nanoprocessing. Dengan teknologi yang dimiliki perusahaan, Nanotech Herbal Indonesia membantu industri-industri herbal Indonesia untuk memiliki bahan herbal yang sudah diproses dengan teknologi nano.
And there's some startup for cosmetic production.
Anda masih bersama kami di CNN Indonesia Tech News. Teknologi nano diperkirakan akan menjadi teknologi masa depan. Dan kini teknologi tersebut juga sudah mulai banyak digunakan di Indonesia. Salah satunya untuk dunia kecantikan.
Produk kosmetik kini telah jauh berkembang. Teknologi nano yang biasanya dimanfaatkan pada bidang sains, kini juga diaplikasikan untuk produk kosmetik. Produk kosmetik yang mengaplikasikan teknologi nano memiliki daya serap dan perlindungan yang lebih tinggi dibandingkan produk sejenis. Nano dalam produk kecantikan wajah di Indonesia sejak tahun 2013. memang produk kecantikan yang menggunakan teknologi nano langsung terasa karena partikel yang dibuat sekecil mungkin langsung meresap ke dalam wajah dan membuat wajah lebih segar dan bersinar.
I think this is also maybe application of nano titania or nano zinc oxide. Yeah. And we also have nano bubble and also nano property, nano land startup. And I think our nano bubble startup win the competition last year, and also in incubator competition, and also win in competition of Wirausaha Mandiri, number 1 based on the best.
Kami persilahkan ke atas panggung Dedi Cahyadi.
Selamat malam Indonesia.
Yes,
Perkenalkan saya Dedi,
ITB
CEO dan
also.
co-founder dari nanobubble.id. Startup penerapan teknologi nano untuk mampu meningkatkan produktivitas budidaya perikanan di Indonesia. Pak Wendy dan Pak Nawawi di Situbondo mengalami kegagalan panen hanya 2 pekan menjelang panen itu terjadi. Dan 60% lebih masyarakat di Indonesia mengalami kegagalan panen. Maka kami dan tim membangun suatu mesin yang mampu menghasilkan gelumbung berukuran halus, nanobubble namanya. Apa dampak dari nanobubble? Pertama, oksigen meningkat signifikan. Pernah kita 2 kali lipat di Situbondo. Yang kedua, kita mampu meningkatkan produktivitas hingga 100%. Dan yang ketiga, kita meningkatkan daya tahan dari serangan virus dan penyakit. Saat ini kita mencoba mengaktifasi lahan-lahan marginal di penduduk masyarakat pesisir yang menguasai 32% kemiskinan di Indonesia. Oleh sebab itu, mari dukung nanobubble untuk membuat petani dan udang lebih bahagia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Untuk pemenang terfavorit terbanyak, ya, dengan like, comment, dan share terbanyak.
Also, we developed and implemented in Situbondo, KKP Situbondo, and many. And also we have Scoters is an online end-to-end application for a board study, including scholarship, payment, and consultant service. We have so many product, more than 50 product based on nanotechnology is already in the market. These some several the champion of the product, propolis, and it's also propolis and many things. I think using alga, I think this one spirulina. Also maybe all of you know about this one.
Gak perlu khawatir karena kulit kusam. Gizi Essential White cerahkan wajah cantikmu.
And also this one, I think last couple years ago.
Di saat semua tidak berjalan, mencegah kerutan pada wajah. Garcia Skincare, cantik dalam ketaatan.
And many things. We also make nano gold for cosmetic, and Jamku cholesterol herbal drinks, many things. And I see if you go to Indomaret, you may see nano silver is also our product, and new product, many things. I think now an example for using TiO2 photoclastic, we have also some product. The attack airborne nanotechnology for anti-COVID treatment with patent number this one has been licensed to the PT Nanobubble Karya Indonesia, and also we developed masker using TiO2 nanoparticles. I hope can help society for this pandemic COVID. Last but not least, the conclusion, the key to success for technology transfer from lab to the industry is technology transfer model 4 is the most suitable framework, invention with a good potential, effective policy and program for technology transfer, entrepreneur attitude, knowledge worker, and solid team, I think. And this last.
Saya ingin memaknai dari konteks ini bahwa membangun bangsa ini seharusnya ini peran kita sudah jelas. Mari kita otak kita ini kita agak sedikit peras lah gitu, tanda kutip ya. Masa sih kita nggak bisa mengangkat 1 produk, 2 produk, 3 produk yang bisa mungkin berkontribusi terhadap negara kita. Kok nemen kalau bahasa Jawanya itu kok sangat sekali. Saya yakin pasti bisa.
Thank you so much. This is all of my presentation.